Welcome to PowerPoint Creative Designs on Banahene tutorial collections. Today we are going to learn how to design a simple gear and also apply animation to such gear, and also reveal how we can use this well designed and animated gear in our presentations. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the interface of Microsoft PowerPoint and let's create our design. In this home page, I'm going to click on blank presentations. Now, as usual, anytime you select blank presentations, you are going to have this simple layout, and because we are going to create our own custom design, we are going to change this layout to blank. So I'm going to right click on this interface, choose layout and select blank. Now we have this perfect blank layout. We are going to design our simple gear with different kinds of shapes. So I'll move to the home tab, or you can also go to the insert tab. Any of this, you get access to the drawing toolbar. I'm going to use the home tab, and in this group I'm going to select shapes, and in this shapes we move to the basic shapes, and we are going to select this called trapezoid. You select, and I'm going to draw this simple shape. Perfect. Now that we have this done, let's move back to the home tab, and also in this contextual tab we have the shape format. We can move to the insert shapes group, and I'm going to select this rectangle. Click. I'm going to use this knot so that I can have the perfect size. So I'm going to click on this and drag it down. Then I release this particular pointer. Now we want to have a duplicate of this so that we can position it below this rectangle. I'm going to select this, hold down the control key, the shift key, and drag this down to make a duplicate. Now when we have this, let's rotate this to have the opposite of this present shape. So I'll move back to the shape format, and in the rotate option we click and choose flip vertical. Now we have this perfect option. It is well aligned because I use all the knots around these shapes to position them. If that is not looking perfect, you can drag over it and select, move to the shape format and choose align and choose center. Now we have this perfectly done. Now all these shapes are already selected. The next thing that we are going to do is to move back to the shape format, and we have this group that says insert shapes. Click on merge shapes and choose union. I have a video that talks about these options that we have in the merge shapes criteria. Therefore, I'm going to drop that link of that video in the description below. So we are going to select union to have this as a single shape. Now that we have this done, and as usual when it comes to a gear, it has a circular form that is equal to 360 degrees, and we are going to divide that by 12, and we are going to have 30 degrees. Therefore, I'm going to have 5 duplicates of this present shape. So whilst this is selected, or you can click to select, use Ctrl plus D on the keyboard to have 5 duplicates of this shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So use the Ctrl plus the D on the keyboard. Now I'm going to drag and select all these shapes, move to align and choose center, and align and choose middle, so it seems as one particular shape. So we are going to select the individual shapes and rotate them in position. I'm going to use the Alt key and the F10 on the keyboard. This brings out the selection pane in PowerPoint, and if you want to use the manual way, you move to the home tab, and then we have select in the editing group, and you can choose selection pane. Now if you have a selected shape in your slide layout, you can also use the shape format, and also we have selection pane. So now that we have this selected, when I click on this, it means that I have one particular shape selected. I want to deselect all these shapes, so I'm going to click here in this slide layout, so we don't have any shape selected in the selection pane. This last shape is the first shape in the slide layout, and this top shape is what we have on top of all the shapes. I'm going to maintain this one and select this last but one shape. Then I'm going to click on this arrow in the shape styles group, or you can right click and choose format shape. So I'm going to select this, so that I'll have this pane or interface opened for me. Now that we have this, we have 3 icons here. I'm going to select this one which says size and properties. Then we move to size, and we have this rotation option. Click, and then you can drag over it, or you can use Ctrl+A to select whatever figure that you have in this field. And I'm going to type 30 and press the enter key. So we have this rotate in the 30 degrees option. Then we move back to our selection pane, and I am going to select this shape. So this last but one has been rotated in the 30 degrees position, so I'm going to select this one. Then move back to the size and properties option. Click, and in this case, because we use the 30 degrees, we are going to add another 30 degrees to the second shape. So we type 60, and that is going to be a continuous thing. We'll be adding 30 to the present value. So we move back to selection pane, select this shape, back to size and properties, then we change this to 90, enter, back to selection pane, select this, change this to 120, then the last shape we select, change this to 150 and press the enter key. So when we get back to our slide layout, you can see that we have this in a circular form. Very beautiful. So now I'm going to click and drag over all these shapes to select, and then position it here so that I can have a better view. Now we have this done. We are going to use a circle to cover this particular shapes. So we move back to the home tab. In the drawing group, we select this and choose oval shape, and I'm going to place this pointer in this middle. I assume that I am in the middle of these shapes. Hold Ctrl and Shift, and then drag to draw this shape. So depending on the outline, you can look up to the outline of this circle to position this particular shape. Now that we have this, I want to have this perfectly aligned, so I'm going to drag over all these shapes once again, move to align and choose center, and align and choose middle, so that we have this circle snap to the center and middle of these individual shapes. So we can select once again all these shapes, move back to the shape format and choose union, so that now we have this as one single shape. Let's draw another circle. So we go back to this group, select this oval shape, assume that this is the middle, hold Ctrl Shift and drag. Now I'm going to select all these shapes, go to align, center, align and choose middle, so that we have this circle in the middle of this previous shape. Now we select all these shapes, move back to shape format, merge shapes and choose combine, so that we have this new shape created for us. Now we have this perfectly done. We are going to apply some effects, animation, and also adjust the timing effect. So we have this gear created. How beautiful it is. We can change the color to black. We can change the effect to using the bevel option, and you can choose any of these bevel effects. I'm going to select this or this. Any of them that suits your preference, you can do so. And as I said earlier, after creating this design and animating it, I will try to show you how you can use this or how useful it is when it comes to presentations. We have this perfectly done. I'll move back to this menu bar and click on this animations tab, and we click on this arrow and choose the spin animation. So this is how it's going to spin. Now let's activate the animation pane, and this is the effect. I'm going to change the duration to 5 seconds and press the enter key, and I'm going to use this with previous. It means that automatically when I get into the slideshow, this is going to start without any click or without the help of the computer user. Now we move to effect options and maintain the clockwise effect, and I'm going to choose this arrow beside this animation, click, move to timing, and then in this window, which is the spin window, we move to this option that says repeat, click and choose onto next click and click on OK. Now when I move to the slideshow by pressing the F5 on the keyboard, you can see that this is spinning automatically. Now we are going to have a duplicate of this particular shape, so I'll move back to my interface, select this shape and hold Ctrl Shift and drag this so that I have this particular shape here. Perfect. I'm going to use the Alt key and the left arrow to change this position so that I have this rotate in another position. Then we move back to the effect options because this particular shape is having or possessing the same animation applied to this first shape. So I'm going to choose the counter clockwise. Now when I move to the slideshow, this is how it's going to work. Very beautiful. This first shape is rotating in the clockwise option and this is spinning in the counter clockwise. Now let's move back to our interface. I'm going to change this color to, let me use this particular color. Very beautiful. Now as I said, how can we use this when it comes to presentation, or how useful it is? Let me drag to select all these shapes, or you can use Ctrl+A on the keyboard to select all the shapes. Let me use the up arrow key to adjust these individual shapes. Now I'm going to use this particular slide as my intro or the first slide in my presentation. So what can I insert into this slide area to make it presentable? I'm going to type some names here. Then I'm going to format this by changing the size, change the font type. I'm going to use, so format this text based on your preference, and I'm going to change the font color to this option. Now let me close this individual panes here. So I have this as the Chief Executive Officer because I'm going to insert some pictures here. I'm going to select this and drag this to this side and also change this to the IT admin, adjust the text box and position it very well. Perfect. Now let's move to the insert tab, choose pictures, this device, and I'm going to select the location where my pictures are located. So you select all the pictures you want to use. If you want to select multiple pictures, you select one, use the Control key to select the other shapes, then you choose insert. Now we have these shapes in our slide layout. Let's position these pictures. Now I'm going to select this particular shape, move to the picture format, then we have crop option, click and crop this to the oval shape, and then move back to the crop option once again. The aspect ratio is to 1. Then we can use this knot or handles to adjust the shape using the Control key and the Shift key. Now I can position this right in this particular gear shape. Perfect. Now you can select this, hold down the Control key, select the picture, move to the picture format, choose align to center and choose align to middle so that you can have a well positional object. Now let's select this. This particular shape has a background, so this PowerPoint app has a feature that allows us to remove a background, and I'm going to have a future video on this particular feature. But before then, when I move to the picture format, choose remove background, this application is going to easily identify the background of this image. Therefore I have this area I want to add to the picture. I'll move back to this area that says mark areas to keep, and I'm going to use this pencil to draw where I want to maintain. So when I'm done with this background removal, I'm going to click outside this particular area. Now we select this, go to the crop option, choose crop to the oval shape, and then we are going to use the aspect ratio of 1:1. Now I'm going to use these handles with the help of the Control key and the Shift key. Perfect. Now let's click outside and position this in the middle of this shape. You can select this, hold down the Control key, select, and choose the align option, center, and also middle. Then we click outside this slide. Now if I press the F5 and move to the slideshow, you can see how this gear object, which has been animated, is giving this well presentable slideshow. So you can see, if you have this as your opener or your slide opener when it comes to your presentation, this is going to draw the attention of your audience. You have image, and you have this image in the animated gear, and you have the name that relates to these pictures. So this is the first approach you can use this particular animated gear object in your presentation. Let me show you another one. I'm going to click below this slide and press the enter key, and then I'm going to change the background to this color. You can choose black or any color of your choice. Let's close this pane. I'm going to click on the insert tab, choose this text box, type the heading or whatever title you want to have for your first slide, that is your introduction slide. Now I have this typed here. I'm going to use Ctrl+A because I have the cursor blinking in this text box. Then change the font size and font type per your preference. Then you choose center in the paragraph group. I'm going to adjust this. You can still increase the size if you want to do so. Now I'm going to change the font color to white, and then move to shape format, align, center, and align middle. So this will be in the middle of this slide area. Now how can we use this gear in this presentation? Let me move back to the first slide. Click, use Ctrl+C on the keyboard, move to this slide, Ctrl+V. Now I can use these handles to reduce the size, and I'm going to place this shape right here. Make a duplicate, Ctrl Shift and drag this here. Now I can make another duplicate. You can reduce the size a bit, position it here, make another duplicate, and then select this one, make a duplicate to this side, make another one to this area. Then I'm going to select these two shapes, click and select and drag this, and I'm going to position it the way I want. Now after doing this, you can change the individual colors, that's the shape fill of all these shapes. So I can select this, change this, and choose this color, change this. So you can apply different colors of your choice to this gear object. So you can change all the colors of these shapes. So now that we have this done, if I hold the shift key and the F5, if this is the first slide I want to have in my slideshow, I can use the shift key and the F5 because this is the second slide. Now when this is being shown in the slideshow, you can see how this well animated gears are working. So when you look at all the positions of this gear, you can adjust it based on your preference. I wanted to showcase how you can use this option when it comes to presentation. If this video was helpful, please like, share, and consider to subscribe, and also drop your comments and questions, and we are ever ready to attend to you. Thank you, and see you in the next video.